So with a recent horrific attack that took place, there's a lot of things being brought to light. And, while this was played in 2024, I think this is still apropos for 2025.
All lies will be exposed.
And it must remain relevant. Okay, folks? So first, let's really address something here. A recent tweet from Easy Street caught my attention from one Donald Trump. Now, two things for this story. Number one, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security were made aware and were warned that there were going to be some kind of vehicle attacks happening on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And boy, they got to it right away. No, they didn't. But see, here's the thing about Donald Trump. Okay, I just got to ask myself, Trump, if you tweeted this or somebody else tweeted this, get your head checked. Because I've always said it before, no matter who sits on the throne, you, the average person, do not have a say in this. Donald Trump, his tweet, "Our country is a disaster, a laughingstock all over the world!" Exclamation point. This is what happens when you have open borders with weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. The DOJ, FBI, and Democrat state and local prosecutors have not done their job. They are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. Try not to fall out of your seat. If you're a Trump supporter, breathe with me. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out for this next statement. The CIA must get involved. Oh, I did not read that properly. Hold on. I have a hard time reading. The CIA must get involved. Yep. Hold on. Third time's a charm. Tic-tac-toe. 3 in a row. The CIA must get involved now, before it's too late. Because we could always trust the CIA. They don't have a checkered past. Boy, RFK Jr. might have a few words with you. The CIA, and in case you don't believe the tweet here, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. The CIA must get involved now. The CIA must get involved now before it's too late. This is what we call no bueno here. This is what we definitely call no bueno. The USA is breaking down. Violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on January 20th. Make America great again. I don't know how you feel about that, folks. The CIA must get involved. Hey, folks, are you not surprised by this statement? Because I know I'm not. I'm not. And because of how crazy this entire story is still developing, I want to pull up this video here. Shout out to Case Study QB. FBI and DHS warned of potential vehicle ramming during the holidays. And you can't look me straight in the eyeball and tell me that the CIA doesn't know this stuff either. It's not like all these organizations don't work together here and there.
The breaking news, cars as weapons. CNN tonight learning the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI had actually warned federal and local law enforcement agencies about the heightened risk of cars being used to terrorize and kill in the weeks before the New Orleans massacre. One of the memos coming after a car rammed into a Christmas market in Germany less than 2 weeks ago. 5 people were killed there, more than 20 injured. And as our Tom Foreman reports tonight, these are not isolated incidents. And Tom is out front.
A truck, a teeming crowd, and terror.
We have dozens of people that got hit by this car.
That is the simple formula that brought violence and death to Bourbon Street.
This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
And it is far from an isolated incident. In China, late last year, a man rammed his car into a crowd, killing more than 30. In Canada, in 2021, a family was purposely crushed by a pickup just a few years after 10 people were killed with a van. The motivations vary, but in New Orleans...
What I can tell you right now is that he was 100% inspired by ISIS.
Terror groups have long pushed the idea of using vehicles to run down large crowds.
Well, no, duh. Come on, CNN. Listen, there's a reason why your network's falling apart, but that was just a dumb statement coming from you guys. But is anyone not surprised that once again our quote unquote keen-eyed eagles fell asleep at the wheel? That now they have plenty of time. They have plenty of time to go after people on social media for a mean tweet or a shocking statement. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty stuff, stopping bad people or potential bad people from doing horrific crimes or assaults or attacks of any form of nature, I mean, it's almost like, they're letting it happen. Let it happen. Let it be. We don't know. We're looking around. You can't track it down. Does this not scream, well, negligence, a setup? It is January 3rd right now. In 17 days, there'll be a switch in presidential administrations, the ending of the Biden-Harris administration and the beginning of the Trump-J.D. Vance administration. And there seems to be this open environment of instability, uncertainty. And with such uncertainty, people get scared. And when people get scared, many a times they give up their freedoms. Have we not learned this lesson from 9/11? Have we not learned this lesson from the 2020 lockdowns? This screams, lock people up. Keep them away. Don't question anything. Follow orders. As our favorite Commissar Hans and his deputy Fritz, hello, would tell you to do.
An Al-Qaeda magazine in 2010 even showed a Ford pickup similar to the rented one used in New Orleans and urged readers to mow down the enemies of Allah with the ultimate mowing machine.
Are you kidding me? Is that what the terrorists now are doing now? Again, source from Inspire magazine from 2010. To mow down the enemies of Allah, the ultimate mowing machine, a Ford truck from America. That'll get those Americans. Are you sure? Are you sure that's what they said? Or is this an attempt to sell more Ford trucks? Hold on. Patrick D says there's an Al-Qaeda magazine. I guess so. And hold on, we got Commissar Hans. Follow the orders. William Charles, built Ford tough. Everybody. And also, beware of any and all narratives which might be used to manufacture consent for more aggression in the Middle East, from Lady Alex. Lady Alex, you're hitting the nail on the head. Freddie G says Ford is one of their sponsors. Herb Green says, not a Dodge Ram? I guess so. Barnes Homestead, not buying it. I see. This is why I love my audience. Okay. Don't ever stop. Never stop being who you are.
Over the past 10 years, some researchers say vehicular assaults have become the most common tool of terrorists worldwide because they require no real training, minimal planning, and the scale of the casualties from a vehicle-based terror attack can overwhelm traditional resources.
Well, gee, come on. You're saying like driving a truck that even a caveman can do it. No offense to my caveman audience. We love our Neanderthals.
And strain the abilities of the healthcare sector. What's more, they are hard to track. CNN's Peter Bergen.
You're going to attract some attention if you potentially if you buy a weapon, particularly if you're suspected or known to be on some kind of watch list. Buying a car, renting a car doesn't kind of trigger those kinds of alerts.
Miss Witchy, perfect. So they're going to ban Fords or ban pickup trucks? Shake my head. Yes. Freddie G. 8 out of 10 terrorists pick a Ford truck because it's the ultimate mowing machine. Come on. Hold on. Let's see what's going on with my kick people. All right. Tired of Lies says magazine headquarters in Syria. There you go. See, again, my audience is absolutely incredible.
Examples are easily found and horrifying. In 2016 in southern France, investigators say a man inspired by jihadists drove a massive truck through a crowd watching holiday fireworks. killing more than 80. The next year in New York City, a pickup truck on a pedestrian and bike path driven by another man with apparent affinity for terror groups left 8 people dead, a dozen injured. In Germany, vehicular attacks on Christmas markets killed a dozen people in Berlin in 2016 and at least 5 in the central part of the country less than 2 weeks ago.
There's always going to be a crowd somewhere for some reason. So I don't see this as a kind of tactic that will fade anytime soon, because you can't defend everything all the time.
Great point from Peter there. Security analysts say there are some ways
Phone scratching there, CNN.
to maybe make it better, one of which is for cities to put more robust barriers between where the cars ought to be and where the pedestrians are going to be, especially.
They do that all the time. They do that all the time. But see, the real problem is, and this is something that the media won't talk about, but yet we have talked about it for a very long time, is how we're being listened into. Now, there's a guy who snowed in somewhere on the Asian continent. All right. He snowed in somewhere, but he kind of gave us his heads up of how we're being spied in on. All of our private information and everything, the surveillance state. We have a lot of eagles watching the wall, but it's not really looking for outside threats or bad guys. It's looking at us. How did this happen when there's so much resources and billions? And let me restate that again. Not just billions, but billions upon billions of dollars that are being spent on surveillance and spying and looking in on us. How'd you let this fly under your radar? I mean, you're getting all this money, you're getting all this technology, when Hardlands Media, Do Dissidents, and Jimmy Dore and RBN were here at the DNC convention here in Chicago. I mean, woo! There were cameras, brand new police helicopters, surveillance machines, big, beautiful fences just closing off the United Center. Had all that money and resources to protect. Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. There's always going to be that one crazy person, but nothing happened. But there was a lot of security and money spent. But yet on New Year's Eve and eventually on New Year's Day, of course, this happened. Where were the authorities? Where were the people that were keeping an eye on this? I mean, don't you got agents? Don't you got field officers who are supposed to be, on the ground looking around for things suspicious? And I get it. Sometimes you're not going to get the bad guys, but boy, whenever there's an attempt to, ramp up the military-industrial complex or have us being involved in foreign wars or, hey, more spying and censorship, seems to me that there's always an incident that sets it off. Gee, I wonder what we're going to be talking about in the post-duopoly show. I wonder, do you ever wonder? Hold on, let me rewind this. My apologies.
Kind of tactic that will fade anytime soon, because you can't defend everything all the time.
Great point from Peter there. Security analysts say there are some ways to maybe make it better, one of which is for cities to put more robust barriers between where the cars ought to be and where the pedestrians are going to be, especially in crowded areas, especially at crowded events where they may have to shut it all down. All of this, they say, can't prevent every attack, Aaron, but it could maybe make these numbers start going down instead of still going up.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
Yes. But you notice how corporate media doesn't talk about, how we've been spied in on, how we've been looking into, how, and again, and this plays in every aspect of our lives, because you might notice, be it on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or X, or maybe just surfing on Google, you might notice that there's a product or TV show or shows or movies or something of that nature that you like, that in turn somehow is being more prevalent. It's almost as though you're being listened into because you are. I want to pull up something else here because, I'm feeling a little bit of a pain in my chest, a pain in my stomach, especially as we ended 2024. I was just wondering, how are things going to get crazier and crazier? It's just one of those things that ramps up in my head just here and there because U.S. officials warn about copycat attacks from ABC News. Ha ha! Mickey's here to save the day. Ha-ha. U.S. law enforcement agencies fear the deadly New Year's attack in New Orleans could trigger a copycat incident. Oh, you don't say. It's almost as though, hey, they're going to be maybe poking some deranged people out there to maybe fit a profile to do more kind of crazy stuff. By the way, these guys didn't come across the border. They didn't fly in or ship in. They're right here from the USA. Nothing frightening or suspicious about that at all. And this is from a joint intelligence bulletin from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security. On January 1st, during the New Year's celebration, again, Samsudin Jabbar, a 42-year-old U.S. Army veteran from Texas, drove a rented Ford F-150 pickup truck into the crowd, because that's what the terrorist magazine says. That's the best truck ever, right? Resulting in 14 fatalities and injuring around 35 others. After crashing the vehicle, Jabbar exited and engaged in a shootout with police, during which he was fatally shot. And of course, then the New York Post had the opportunity to visit his home in New Orleans. Why that area wasn't locked down and secure is beyond me. According to ABC, the intelligence bulletin stresses that ISIS has been prompting vehicle ramming attacks since 2014 and has intensified calls for low-tech mass casualty assaults in recent months. Oh my God, particularly in the light of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Why is this happening? So, if this doesn't scream red flag, if this doesn't scream you should be concerned about the overall aspects of how our society and our systems that spy in on us fail us all the time. I mean, this is a prime example. And gee, it leads to me to no wonder, or to wonder here and there about why we're always involved in these foreign wars. It's like there's a setup. Always a setup. There's always something to set it off. Something that just doesn't add up. Where are the people who are supposed to question these things? The press. Oh, well, the reason why the press can't do it is because they're owned by the corporate donors. The reason why our politicians can't act is because they're owned by the corporate donors. It's as though a narrative is being spewed at us and we must accept it. But what happens when we give our silent, obedient consent? Well, we're dragged into foreign wars. Our economy stagnates. People are left to suffer. And of course, when we get hit with natural disasters, we got to take it on the chin. When there is a man-made disaster, such as a devastating train derailment, being exposed to chemicals or a chemical explosion, or is it that if there's a wildfire or hurricane, we got to take it. But hold on, there could be a potential attack here, or attack did happen. Oh no, Jolly G. Willigers. We were warned about it, and we warned officials, but nobody acted. And looks like we're going to another country in the Middle East. We're starting 2025 off with a horrific start. And we're already 3 days into the first month of the new year. Nothing suspicious about this at all. Say it with me, folks. We kept it going for 2024, and we'll keep it going for 2025. What could possibly go wrong?
SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watched them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. Is it too late for us to ever change? We are collecting the dust of better days. They're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Sheriff stopped your daughter today. Pepper sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they've taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, and they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Feds arrived and had you detained. Said you'd made some posts they weren't changed. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name, or life before they had you contained. Oh, life before they had you contained. The SWAT team took your neighbor today.